What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be doing some work on Volkswagen Jetta. It's actually my girlfriend's car. It's a 97. It's a GLX 12 valve. Did some work to it over the summer and stuff. Not bad. We got some rack boots and stuff we got to do, window regulators, just maintenance in the cold with the heater. Typical. So we got this side going. I got the rack boot on there, just did the clamp. She already did inner tie rods on it, so the inner tie rods were new, but the boots were ripped. As you can see, here's the old boot. Somebody didn't want to replace the boot, so we got boots doing the boots. I got the tube cleaned out, so I'm going to twist this tie rod in the rest of the way here on this side, and then we'll get working on the other side. So we already marked this with a paint marker on where it was before, so hopefully we don't have to mess with the alignment. And then when I get it tight, that marker should kind of, you see how where I had it marked came straight up? That's kind of telling me that it is where it was before, because this turned exactly back to where it was. And I'll just grab the right size wrench, not the wrong size wrench, wherever that's at. Alright, so I got the right size wrench, and we'll snug this up nice and tight. And then that side's all done, new rack boot on there, so we should be good to go. Alright, so as you can see on this side, I already pried this off. Now, this ZF rack on these actually has a little focus. It has a little hole. Can you see it? There's a little hole there that a tube connects. There's a tube back in there, see the tube? So I had to blow the tube out and clean it all out. You can see there was like no rack boot on them things. They're looking crusty, so they're still tight. I'll put some more grease in there, get this new boot on, and then we'll be done with this side. And then we can move on to some ebrake cables and then to window regulators. Alright, so we're gonna crack this nut loose here. Oh look, this one's a different size than the other side. Okay, that's why I have multiple wrenches here. Crack that loose. Now I don't really want to move that. I'll have it marked, but I'll kind of just keep it there for now because I don't want to twist my mark off. And I'll grab my 13 and I can twist this out of the tie rod. And like I said, she already put inners on this car, so it's not really bad to work on. They come right out, which is nice. I'll probably put a little more grease on that too while I have it apart. Alright, so that's out of there. I can take this old boot off of here. And we'll spin this off. And I like to kind of watch and make sure. You see, it was like right on the end there. So you can twist this all the way off. Okay, then I'm going to grab some grease. And alright, so I got some grease. I don't have a lot of grease, sadly. But I'm just going to wipe this rack off a little bit back in here where the boot goes. Now I think this side's going to be a little trickier because I gotta line it up with that thing while I get it on, dodge the clamp. It's going to be an event, I feel like. But I'm going to grease this up so it slides on there nice. Now last time I kept having this problem where I push it on and the clamp would go and then the boot would like stay behind me, and it was really battling me. So I'm going to make sure I really grease this side up because I don't want to fight with it. Get that good and greased up. We'll get this good and greased up a little bit so it slides in there nice. What was the other thing that I wanted to do? I'm not sure, but I know that I need some grease on here. But that will come off again. Yeah, okay. Let's see what kind of damage we can do here. So this piece has to go down towards that little nipple. Maybe I'll put a little grease there too so that slides in nice. Clamps over there. So this has to go in. Right at that bottom towards that nipple. I'm probably going to have to go under there. Oh shit, that's what I wanted to do. I almost forgot. So I'm not really worried about putting a ton of grease in here because these are already new, so there's grease in there, and it's not like these are constantly getting grease, so it's kind of one of them things that if they're shot, they're shot. At least in my opinion. I'm not stressing it. I'm just gonna put some fresh shit on there to kind of keep it from getting a bunch of water in there and stuff like it was, and carry on with life. My head's probably in the way. Put that back on. We can slide this boot in. Alright, so I got up under here, so hopefully you guys can see. So, the little fucking tube plugs into the bottom of that. You can kind of see it right there. But I ended up taking the clamp and slipping the clamp over. See, like there's the tube right there, nice and green. And it comes and connects them two together there. So I ended up just sliding it, or sliding the tube and everything on, and then I slid the clamp on. So I'm gonna go around to the other side and squeeze the clamp together, and then that should be done. Alright, so I got this clamp here. Pull this boot out till we're nice. I'll clamp this on there, like so, with the side cutters. It seems like the clamp seems a little loose on there, but what are you gonna do? I didn't design the part. I just installed it. Oh, we can probably get it. It's a little hard because the wheels turn, but we'll get it. There it is. Now we'll tighten this back up. Alright, so just like that, the rack boots are done. New boots on the rack for the winter time. Here. Bam. Just like that. New rack boot. Alright, so now as you can see, we have the back of the car jacked up. Here's the crust that we are dealing with. Ooh, that's crusty. Alright, so I've PB'd these up. I totally had a brain fart earlier. I'm pretty sure move this arm up and then pump the brakes up, it'll push the piston back out, and then they should work again. I was just having a brain fart. However, I'm gonna have to cut this cable because there's no way to get it out. So I've got some side cutters. I'm gonna have to get up in there, snip this. If I can, hopefully. There we go. Okay, take this out. There we go, there's the old one. So I gotta get the rest of the crust out. The jack's just sitting there for extra safety. So I'll get the rest of them crustaceans out. All up into that crusty ass hole. And I gotta work this arm because as you can see it's frozen solid, typical Volkswagen. And then yeah, we'll go from there. Alright, so as you guys can see, there's this arm here. I have sprayed it with lots of PB Blaster. So I gotta work this. Because I gotta get it should have a spring. See, it's kind of springing back. So the other side like pumped up. Hey, look, there it goes. Look, let me spin this with my foot so you guys can see. Look at that shit. That's a fucking ebrake if I've ever seen one. So I worked this till it's nice. It already is kind of nice. See, it's returning. But we'll work this and then we'll get the new cables in there and we'll be cooking. She battled the center console already on the inside. Look at that. Alright, so now we're up here in the interior. You can see she's got the console off. Here are the 4 nuts we have to remove. I already got them cracked loose. Could probably let this down a little help. There we go. So spin these off and then we can pull the cables out the back and toss the new cables in. Alright, so it turns out the e-brake cables I had are not the right ones. How unfortunate, typical day in life. So we're going to take a magical trip over to the AutoZone. Wow, this thing's unhappy. What an unhappy vehicle it was. That's crazy. It normally always starts right up like a dream. Yes, splashing of the fuel. We're back with new ebrake cables. So we'll remove these, pull these out of here. Alright, so got the ebrake cables on, all hooked up. Everything's all back where it should be. I pulled the e-brake up real tight because it seems like the cables are a little tight, so I'll let them stretch out a little and then readjust them. Should be good. Alright, so I'll take the speaker out so we can get to this bolt back here for this window regulator. I'm going to start with this one and start replacing them up. We'll have to swap the motors onto the regulators too. And I want to grease the regulators up all bunch before we put them in. So I'll pop those three out and I should be able to get to this bolt. Going for it. Alright, so that should be all of them. Undo this highly sophisticated connector. So this thing should fold all up. Out of here. Remove this piece first. There it is. Okay, so now we just got to swap this motor out. Look, this one was already replaced. It was made in Taiwan. So swap this out, put it in, and we should be good to go. So I'm just taking these motors off. We're going to swap the window motors. Grease up that regulator good. I put some graphite, powdered graphite in the tracks. That helps a lot if you have like real sticky windows. You can put some of the powdered graphite in there and it'll make them slide a lot better and help your motors and regulators out before they even break. But this one has one window working. Not even half a window working. So we're trying to go from half window to 4 operational windows. So turns out I have to take out like all these little torque screws, I suppose, and then it should split apart into 2 pieces. And all these screws will probably go into this stone driveway and be lost, but not forgotten. Alright. Maybe I can just dump them over there. There we go. Okay, so now I just have to put this onto here, like this. Voila! Now the screws that are gone forever, put these back in. And then we just repeat this many of times. Alright, so here we are, it got cold. It's fucking cold. The window regulators are in, all 4. Nicely installed. Door panels back on. This is daily, so I don't want to hear nothing about no mess in this vehicle. Door panels are on. Everything's working good. E-brake is on for the first time in a millennia. And I'm going to fill out this oil change sticker because you need to change it real quick. Here it is, another master disaster. Black oil. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. It's cold, and I'm gonna finish cleaning up. Go inside, be warm. Stay warm out there. Yo, you seen that? Typical.